Oh, shit, we're starting. Sweet. Nice. Looks like Stats fixed his computer. Alright, game number 3, finally. Stats decided to man up and play against Leta. I think Stats was just scared, because Leta's like 4-1 against him lifetime. So he's like, Coach, put somebody else, I don't want to play this guy. Coach is like, shut up, Stats. Guess we won't let me do that. Anyway, so Leta will be the chair in the bottom right, Stats will be in the top right, and we are on Jade, where we've seen some pretty cool PvTs. Actually, wait a minute. The last time these guys played, wasn't the last time they played that game where like Leta got owned because he scouted or he scanned a spinning cybernetics score and thought it was carriers and it actually wasn't? Was that Leta versus Stats? I'm pretty sure it was Leta who was the Terran. I'm fairly certain it was Stats who was the Protoss. I think that's actually what happened, and it was on this map as well. So for anyone who has no idea what the hell I'm talking about, you know, in PvT, you know, usually you do the standard, you know, mass gateway unit with like arbiters and whatnot, but you can't go for carriers. You're pretty good in Brood War, unlike in StarCraft 2. But when you go for a carrier switch, you are basically you have a much weaker army, like until you get your carriers up, because you have to invest in all the Stargates and the Fleet Beacon and whatnot, and the upgrades. So when Leta, it got to like the point with the mid game, right? And they were both about like 150 supply, or Leta was about like 150 supply. He scanned Stats' base. He saw the cybernetics core spinning, and obviously the only thing that could possibly be is +1 air weapon. So he's like, oh, if he's getting +1 air weapons, he's obviously doing a carry switch right now. So I should just attack and kill him while he's weak and doesn't have carriers yet. But actually, Stats just had like a million gateway units and High Templar, and so Leta moved out at a bad timing and they just died. And it was a pretty cool game. I actually wrote an article about it in like one of the PL write-ups. It was like the only article I wrote because I'm a lazy bastard. Oh man, cause seriously, like the PL writing team was like, hey Sayle, do you wanna write for us? I was like, yeah, I'll totally write for you guys. And I just like wrote one article. I'm like, yeah, not gonna happen. I'm a bad person. I'm a terrible person. But anyway. Apparently Dustin Browder's in my chat. Yeah, I noticed that earlier. Dustin Browder, man, you're awesome. Pretty cool dude. Can you put some like more rocks in the game though? I feel like there's not enough rock. Like, as a geology major, I feel like the level of rockness is insufficient in the maps. So, just want to throw that out there. A little bit of constructive criticism, if you will. 2 guys remaining on gas. Could be some starport shenanigans. Leta does nerve to do that.
상대방을 계속 이렇게 지치게 만드는 것이 가장
그럼요. 그게 실력이에요. SCV and Scout what's going on. Fairly late probe scout going out, but not a big deal. Probably indicates he's going just for a standard 1-gate expand. I think he actually placed the Nexus there as well. Yep, just doing the 1-gate expand. So look at this. He's scouting with the probe that makes his Nexus. That makes his Nexus. That's right. That's how late that scout was. And it's just because there's no point scouting earlier because he's gonna 1-gate expand no matter what he sees. Except like a BBS, but that's like, you don't usually worry about that too much. BBS, by the way, is barracks supply, because in Brood War you can actually still make a barracks before a supply depot. Wait, where's Dustin Browder? Dustin Browder, why did you make it so you have to make a depot before a barracks in StarCraft 2? Seems a little bit silly. I hate cheesers, but it seems a bit silly. Anyway. So we do have second gateway going up and starport. Yep. As I said, Leta loves his starports, man. Seriously, if I had a penny every time Leta made a starport, I would actually have a lot of pennies because Leta probably plays like thousands of practice games. or he makes starports.
비행기 타라.
I would have a lot of
네,
pennies.
그 공포증을 이겨내기 위해서는 스타포트 계열 마인폭스를 막아라. 이런 미션 과정이
Anyway.
떨어졌습니다. 예.
So Leta is gonna have to do some damage with his attack. Obviously, one gate expand, pretty economic build, and so you know Leta's expansion gonna be way slower. He's probably gonna do a vulture drop. I would imagine it's a vulture drop, and he's gonna have to kill a decent number of probes. And oh, this is actually a fake FD into a vulture drop. Oh man, this is so cool. So some of you might be like, Sayle, that's redundant. Fake FD already stands for fake double. No, yeah, FD stands for fake double, but this is a fake double. See, Leta just took it one step deeper because he's pretending like it's an FD push, which is basically just 6 Marines, 1 tank, and some vultures and mines to put a little bit of pressure on. But actually, he's gonna push, and Stats is gonna see it. He's gonna be like, okay, he's doing an FD, and he's gonna do all this fancy Dragoon micro, and then suddenly there will be vultures with mines in his base, and he'll be very sad. He will be crying delicious Protoss tears when all his probes are dying to vultures, and he can't do anything about it because he doesn't have observers yet. The question actually is when his robo gets up, okay, looks like it's almost finished. So observers will be out shortly. But here we go. Here's the attack. Where's the dropship though? The dropship needs to come out fairly quickly. Now these are reasonable positions for dropping. Of course, the natural of Stats is facing Leta's base. You can immediately drop a couple vultures there and send the rest into main. It's probably this attack is basically just a distraction now at the front. There's too many dragoons for it to really do any serious damage. So he just wants to poke in and kind of draw Stats' attention and then drop. He's gotta be very careful. That is a lot of dragoons. If he's not careful, the dragoons can just run out and snipe all his dudes. Most importantly, the siege tank. Which would be very bad. He's actually going for a relatively quick citadel here. Ooh, that could be risky. And oh, it's gonna get spotted. He sees it. He sees the dropship. He's gonna try and intercept it. He's not gonna be able to. And now the dragoons are moving back to help out. There are 2 dragoons also getting out from the gateways. Looks like Stats getting a little bit lucky in that regard. How much damage will these vultures do? But meanwhile, the attack is going in the front as well. The Marines on the tank are actually going in the front, and these dragoons could get taken down with the spider mine. Oh, nice mine laying there. Meanwhile, what's going on at the front? It looks like at the front, most of the Marines, I don't even know what happened there. I think the push at the front got taken down, but that's just given so much time for these vultures to just ravage the mineral line. Oh my god, the observer is out. He's going to take down the spider mines, but he has lost some dragoons. He's lost some probes. Is it enough damage though? Was it enough damage? I don't know. Crucially, he also saw a relatively fast citadel there. To get that citadel already off just 2 gateways and 2 base, usually means it's going to be a 2 base arbiter play. There's otherwise no real reason to get that so early. But yep, it is going to be 2 base arbiter. It's getting a Stargate in the Temple Archives, but I'm fairly certain Leta will have seen that and been like, oh, okay, now I know what you're doing. So that was actually it was a very effective harass, but the thing is, I'm fairly certain he suicided a bunch of units at the front. Actually, now that I look at it though, he might have pulled his siege tank back and just suicided the Marines to draw fire, because the Marines are not really going to be very useful going into the mid and late game. They just don't really do anything. So he might have just sacrificed those in order to maximize the damage from the vultures, which would have been a good move. And we did see him kill quite a few probes. So, 3 factories are up now. And he's already got the starport, so, he can actually get a relatively quick science vessel to deal with this arbiter tech, which is quite nice. Like, the tech path is working out quite smoothly for Leta. And that's quite nice. I quite like that. So, switching dragoons can move out, doing some mine carrying. Notice he doesn't send a million dragoons, just sends 2. It only takes 2 dragoons to kill spider mine. So you don't want to send out too many guys and then risk vultures running around into your main base or anything like that. Well, still nothing coming out for Leta. I mean, the thing is, Leta's economy, he did delay his expansion by quite a bit. I'm not sure if he cut SCVs or not. I want to say he probably didn't cut too many SCVs in that attack, but it's not like his economy is particularly amazing either. In the meantime, looks like he's gonna... Oh no, he's gonna siege up here at the front. He's got a nice little barracks slash engineering bay wall there, or at least he had one for a while. He just in case Stats goes for some kind of crazy counterattack with all his dragoons and just kind of semi-all-ins in response to the Volt harass. He just wanted to have that nice wall there, but now that he's got enough siege tanks, he's gonna lift that off. And ooh, looks like Pro getting stuck there in between the gateways. That, by the way, happens ridiculously often when you make tightly packed gateways like that. Man, it's like every other game. I try to transfer my pros from my main to my natural. It's like, nope, we are gonna just hump this gateway. These gateways, man, they're fine. They're fine. Anyway, third command center is on the way for Leta off just the 3 factories. He doesn't seem overly concerned about the 2-base arbiter. Like, he definitely saw the citadel. And I'm just wondering, does he think that, well, Stats, since it was scouted, would just try something else? But he must have scanned it by now, because he does have comm stats. So if I was him, I'd be getting my science facility by now, or, I don't know, something, maybe a few more turrets. Because 2-base arbiter is very flexible. If you, I mean, you know, oftentimes you'll get stasis first, just to be safe against any early aggression, but, you know, if you see the Terran, you know, taking a greedy 3 bases, you can easily just go recall instead, and then just recall into his main to punish him for it, and he'll just be spread way too thinly on his 3 bases to defend properly. But Leta is now adding on a couple more factories. And, oh, I like this. If you look at the minimap, Leta seems to have sent a vulture over to the top left to place spider mines at all 3 of those bases. So now, anywhere that Stats would want to expand to has a spider mine there, so he'll either need to just send a unit to tank the hit. You can just send like a random Zell to run over there and just trigger the mine, or he'll have to use an observer and then go clear it out properly. Both of which are not ideal. Meanwhile, third command center is floating out. It is spotted by an observer, so okay, Stats sees exactly what's going on. He's like, okay, you got a fast 3rd base. Now he's going to decide, alright, do I want to do a recall? Do I want to do a fast recall? Do I want to just take a fast 4th? Looks like he's going to go start clearing out mines with these dragoons. Even if he doesn't take a fast 4th, it's still a good idea to just clear those out. Just keep the Terran in the dark. You know, then at the very least he doesn't know if you're expanding or not. And looks like, oh, I think he might have been expanding, but Probe got intercepted by a vulture. I just heard vultures snipe a probe just now. The sad sound of a dying probe. I don't think we saw it on screen. Yeah, those 3 vultures, those marauding vultures. And, oh, where are you going, Arbiter? Where are you going? Alright, he's just staying with the army. Interesting that there's a shuttle out already. Presumably for shuttle bombs. Or result bombs, rather. And, oh, get the probe, get the probe! Oh, gets the probe. Wow, that is so annoying. I cannot actually explain to you how annoying that is. Like, you have to play, you know, Protoss or Zerg, or even Terran. You have to play against the Terran and have your workers sniped like 8 times if you understand how frustrating it is. This is like actually one of the most frustrating things you can experience in life, is having that worker sniped. Oh my god, he's gonna lose it again. He just builds a pylon defiantly. He's like, fuck you, vultures! I'm gonna build a fucking building at this base. I don't even give a shit, alright? It's not a nexus, but I built a pylon. So suck it, vultures. Oh, man. Look, now he's sending 2 probes. He's like, god damn it. Alright, we'll try 2 this time. We'll try 2. Alright, come on, do it. Do it. He's also got like all of his dragoons defending. It's like, for the love of God, man, let me get a 4th base. Yeah. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. But Stats is stuck on 3 base against a 3 base Terran, and that's bad. You definitely want to be ahead by 1 base as the Protoss. And we're gonna have a recall into the main base here. Recall. Oh, there we go. Recall, and looks like there was some actually anti-recall mines laid, but not quite enough there. Almost pulling them into the SCV mine, in fact. And he's actually going to snipe a starport here. No more science vessels for you. But it looks like most of these forces will get cleaned up. The Terran army was in good position to defend this. So, not the most effective recall in the world, but you know, you can get the starport, you got a couple of buildings, got a couple of units. And Stats is actually double expanded behind this. He's taken both the top left natural and the main, of course, getting cock blocked by those vultures for so long. Although it looks like for some reason Leta's not cleaning up these goons. Okay, there we go. And boom. Bye bye goons. Bye bye dragoons. Oh, can you snipe the vessel? No, or snipe the dropship or something, or just don't do anything. Cute little defense matrix there on the siege tank. I think that might have been unnecessary. I don't think the dragoons could have killed that anyway, but you know what? It was a cutie pie, just like Leta. So top left bases are up now. And once they start mining, that'll put stats on 5 bases to Leta's 3, so that's going to put a timer on Leta for when he has to push. He will still have a bit of time because, you know, the economy is all well and good, but you also need to have the infrastructure to support it, so, you know, you need to add a bunch of extra gateways, preferably at the top left main, where you can reinforce your army from. In the meantime, somewhat hidden expansion at the bottom left does get scouted by an observer. It's quite fortuitous for stats. And, you know, Leta is not looking like in the most amazing position. I mean, you know, I wish I could see his supply right now. Like, how close is he to pushing out? Because if he can push out in like the next, you know, minute and a half to 2 minutes, he'll probably be okay. But look at this, he's like trying to take a hidden expo there. It's not going to work. I mean, these kinds of sneaky things, perhaps not the best idea at this point. Just get ready to do a big push, make a move against stats, but it looks like he is going to start laying some mines in good positions here to defend the bottom left bases, even though he hasn't been able to take them yet. And now he's going to run up towards top left. Can he go and do some nice pro harass? Looks like the bulk of the Protoss army is there to intercept though, so it doesn't seem very likely. Yep, he's going to get taken down here. His unit's a little bit trapped. Excuse me. Waking up at 3 AM will do that to you. But the vultures are going in to the top left, and oh my god, the entire army actually moved out of position. I think he assumed that the vultures just ran away, although I guess he does also have cannons in position to defend, so it's not as big of a deal. But here we go, it looks like Stats actually getting ready to go for an attack. I don't agree with this move. His gateway farm at the top left is not established yet. If you go for this kind of semi-suicidal attack, you need it to at least be able to reproduce a lot of those units very quickly, and also preferably have a bigger bank so that you have the money to spend. But uh-oh, looks like actually it's not going to be an attack out of the front. It's going to be a recall here, perhaps a double recall. Recall into the natural there. Nice recall. Looks kind of cool. Look, the units were like recalled in a cross there. That was actually really sweet. And what happened to the other arbiter? I thought I saw another arbiter somewhere. Maybe not, but either way, you do some more damage. Oh yes, there was another arbiter. Looks like there's a recall into the third base there. Haha! I was indeed right. So recalling the natural and the main base, and the third base at the same time. Very, very nice moves. Looks like there were quite a few turrets placed to stop those recalls, but didn't quite do their job. Gonna stop a couple of these siege tanks before those units die. Of course, he knows that they would die. But see now, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many, whether Leta is close enough to a push, but you know, sacrificing 2 big groups of units like that and 2 recalls is kind of risky. If the Terran cleans it up very cost efficiently, he can just do a huge push following up, and then if you don't have enough units, you can't reproduce fast enough, and you just can't do anything about it. And that's my concern, is that without that, you know, super high gateway count from stats, it will be a little bit difficult to replenish the army every time he loses it like that, which he inevitably will, since he is facing a Terran. So, looks like Leta's still not ready to move out. Can we just go do some light vulture harass? I mean, you know, Stats has his half of the map almost already, and ooh, barely gonna miss that dropship. I think I'm fairly certain he didn't see it. He's moving his army in that direction, but I don't think he did see it. No, he didn't. He's just repositioning his army a little bit. This is some High Templar there as well. A very gas-heavy competition there with the Arbiters and the High Templar, but oh so worth it. Love me my Protoss spells. Although I know the other races don't. And it looks like the drop is going to go in here to the top left main. Is it just going to be a tank drop, a vulture drop? What is it going to be? Because there are cannons there in the mineral line, so yeah, it's going to be a 1 tank 2 vulture drop. Meanwhile, the main force is pushing out as well to help distract. Or actually, I guess, I don't know, is the drop there to distract for the main attack, or is the main attack there to distract for the drop? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The drop or the push? Tune in to Discovery Channel next time to find out. By Discovery Channel, I mean Esports TV. Anyway, are we gonna have a big engagement? For some reason there's no units there. I think Stats might just be kind of being, thinking like, oh well, I'm being dropped, so that's really annoying, but screw it, I'm just gonna go attack. But ooh, I think he just got EMP'd on that clump. That Arbiter lost all its shields. The Arbiter was definitely EMP'd, and they was sitting over a High Templar. I think Stats might have actually just let his Arbiter and a bunch of High Temps get EMP'd, but wow, big stasis on all those units, but no, none of them were siege tanks, so I don't think it really matters. Meanwhile, that drop's finally getting cleaned up in the top left. And now the Protoss army's coming down here. The Terran army's on siege. He's on siege. If Protoss goes now, it'll be good. No, he doesn't quite go in time. I don't think he has enough forces, actually. For some reason, Stats' army looks really, really small. Man, Leta's army looks so much scarier than Stats'. Oh man, but Stats is going for it. The tanks were sieging a little bit late. Half of the tanks are still unsieged, and actually it looks like not enough units. No, there's actually a much deeper tank line here, but there's no support units. Where are the Vultures? Sacrificed too many Vultures apparently in those attacks, but it looks like it doesn't matter. The Protoss army is going to get cleaned up here. Leta, with a big core of tanks remaining, those expensive siege tanks are going to be just fine. Looks like just finally dropping another Zealot on a siege tank. Try and kill it, and he does manage to. But Stats, well, actually he does have his gateway. He does have his gateways up in the top left, and there's still no 4th base for Leta. So actually, if Stats can keep this up, if Stats can just wear down this push, hold on for a little bit, he will be in a fantastic position. He's gotta be careful about those EMPs though. Look at this, he's clumping all his Arbiters. Oh man, that is a rookie mistake. That is in fact a newbie mistake, alright? I try not to BM players, but it looks very much to me like he had the Arbiters all in the same hotkey. or at least he just didn't bother splitting them. He had them all clump up to the same place, so even if he had them on different hotkeys, he just A-moved to the same place, and they all clumped up because they're air units. And that's just asking to get EMP. You're just gonna get one EMP on your clump of 4 Arbiters, and that's just almost instant GG. Just like, oh, well, damn, I can't use spells anymore. And you really do need those spells against the Terran army, otherwise the Terran mech army is just so ridiculously strong. It looks like Stats is going in here, and for some reason, there's no detection and a bunch of naked siege tanks there by themselves. Oh man, there's the EMP, but the EMP is late. The EMP is late, but I think it worked anyway, and it looks like it's going to be enough. Oh, storm! Huge storm! All the tanks going to clean up that whole clump. But Leta, though, he's got very well upgraded mech. It's a 3-1 on his mech army, and it looks like he's barely going to hold yet again. He needs to start reinforcing with a few more Vultures and perhaps a couple of Goliaths to help ward away those Arbiters. But it's going to be very difficult now that Stats has all of those all that production, all those gateways, man. At least they're on the same team. Stats is Flash's side. I should have just been like, oh, Flash's sidekick. That is Blended Combat. Anyway, so Leta is waiting for those units to come out of stasis. He's going to start moving over once again. Interesting little note, by the way, is that if your units get stasis, they get unhotkeyed from whatever hotkey they were in. So it's quite annoying to have to like re-hotkey everything when 2 units come out of stasis. Yeah, Protoss is a pretty good race, guys. Pretty good race. But anyway, here comes the Terran attack, going towards the top left. The army of the Protoss doesn't look particularly big, and this is what I was talking about. You should only be, doing semi-suicidal attacks and recalls when you have enough bank and gateways to easily replenish your army, because otherwise, it's just like, oh, well, Terran's like, hey, I defended this, now let me attack, and then good to go. Although it wasn't quite that situation in this game, obviously, but... Well, I'm just thinking, is Stats is gonna go for a counterattack? God, why am I just like picking random players now? Yeah, Last is playing in this game. Guys, if Bisu wins this attack, he will be awesome and handsome. Anyway, this counter is actually gonna work somewhat here, but he's gonna lose these top left 2 bases, I'm pretty sure. Although that is mostly siege tanks, not many support units, so he's gotta be a little bit careful. But the Zealot's moving in here to the 3rd base, gonna take it down quite easily, and that's gonna mean that I think actually Leta might not even be mining at all. Fairly certain that his main is dry, his natural is almost dry. So without this 3rd base, he's gonna have 0 income, and that is generally not good in StarCraft when you have 0 income. I'm just saying. So, looks like Vulture's going to suicide to their death. It looks like Leta might not have fixed his rally point there, just still had everything rallied to the front of the natural, whereas should have rallied them a little bit further back there. Top left natural is gone, the main base is going to start getting pushed. 2 idle Stargates there. He might actually just be maxed, that's why. Although actually, no, he has been losing a lot of units here and there, so maybe not, but Either way, it's actually a pretty close game here. Stats though, crucially, he did get the bottom left natural there. I'm pretty sure that's the next. And oh, big stasis there, going down. The Arbiters even can start picking off these units here. The Arbiters with their little 10 damage phase disruptor cannon things. Are they phase disruptors? I think they're phase disruptors. Ooh, nice storm on the vultures. But yeah, Arbiter's really not exactly high DPS units. I guess they still can't shoot. They still can shoot rather air and ground. Meanwhile, the Protoss army going back in here to take out the third, and you know, what's the space? Leta is definitely only mining on that one base, so now he's gonna have no mining. Leta actually has to just win with that one army, and that army is just like kind of chilling outside the Protoss' top left made, not attacking, not doing anything right now. Or rather, just sitting in stasis. He needs to make something happen with these, but that's going to be very difficult. There's a lot of DTs there, a lot of high Templars there. Going to have some good storms off. Storms are quite effective against everything. And looks like, oh, Citadel's moving in, not going to do anything. Is he going to storm? I just stormed the Science Vessel. Lol. Lol, he almost got it too, like red hell. 2 more ticks in the storm and he might have got it. Either way, a fleet beacon is up, so Stats actually thinking about doing a carrier switch, or maybe thought about it before and decided not to. I don't know if that's the best idea in this situation. Carrier switch takes a long time. You need a critical mass of at least 4 carriers to do anything, and obviously you have to wait for the interceptors and stuff to build. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know if that's the best idea. It doesn't seem like he's actually making the carriers, instead just focusing on the ground army, and looks like that's actually going to be what might win him the game here. He's breaking through this tank army. Just a few tanks left on the low ground, and remember, Leta is not mining at all at the moment. He's not even going to kill this base. He's not even going to kill all the gateways. Oh man, Leta is looking so dead here. Stats is moving in. He's going to kill the last of the Terran forces. That's got to be GG soon. Leta's moving out another command center to his third, but GG from Leta. Stats taking down Leta. He was 1-4 before this, but he manned up. He winds to the Kesper ref. Kesper's ref was just like, dude, play your game, and he did, and he won. So, KP Rolster is going to take the Broodlord Best of 3 from CJ Antis. Good job to them, and stay tuned guys for the StarCraft 2 matches. And also for the record, the player who chose Avril Lavigne as